Welcome and thank you for joining me today. I am very excited that you took the time to join me. Hail, hail, hail. Hail to the primal lights. So the next question is, who is Heru? Who is Heru? Who is Shiva? All right. So Heru, Horus is Shiva, and the real Christ in the world is Horus. But I want everyone to know that Horus no longer exists because that was the avatar that he came in that avatar. So Horus does not exist anymore, and this is what you guys need to understand. Horus does not exist anymore because he evolved himself, and he is known as Shiva now. So if you want to reach out to Shiva, know that Horus no longer exists, but Shiva does. And the real Christ is Shiva because it was his baby self that came as the Christ, and so Anubis stole his story and impersonated him and called himself Jesus and took the story, and all of his followers, they created the Bible and rewrote the names and the stories and all of these things and attribute the story to Anubis. And so Anubis has been playing the role of Jesus. But the real Christ that came is Heru and is now known as Shiva. Alright? So who is Horus? Shiva. Know this truth. This is why you're calling Horus. You're not going to get him because you're only going to get someone who's going to impersonate him, one of the deities. So Shiva is the real Christ, and who's the one that came. Shiva is also the masculine self to Auset. So Shiva is my masculine self. Shiva came into the world as Akhenaten. Yeah. Shiva came as Akhenaten, and when Shiva came as Akhenaten, Shiva and Auset share many lifetime together. They come as parent and child. So I was his mother as Auset, Isis, and then I was his mother again a couple of times. When he gained enlightenment, I was his mother. When he came and he gained his enlightenment, I came as his mother. When he was Akhenaten, I came as his son. And so this is how we share lifetime journeys as parent and child. And then now when I met Shiva, he told me that he was myself. I learned that he was my masculine self, and then he introduced me to Ptah, and to let me know that Ptah was also myself, and Ptah was his self-replica. And so Ptah is the self-replica of myself that was Mahat, that is the feminine, and Ptah is the masculine that make oneself. And so Mahat is merging with me, Auset right here, and Ptah is merging with Shiva. So right now, Shiva as Ptah merging with him, they're bringing the world into balance, this solution, doing whatever it is that they need to do. And Auset is here doing her part in bringing the world into balance by maintaining balance within myself. So this is how you bring the world to balance. You have to maintain balance within yourself. Yeah. And liberate yourself from prison of your mind. What else about Shiva? Shiva was exploring as partial duality, and as a partial duality being, it means that Shiva's self is liberated and is non-dual, but his mind is still the same consciousness that we have. He has the same duality consciousness that we have, except that many ones in the world are wearing the baby mind, the Shiva of the self-replica, and so he's wearing the duality mind, and so it used to never always be easy for any of the partial duality beings, because the mind is always trying to imprison them and trying to take over their self. And so he always had to be battling with his mind and also all of the other duality beings. But one thing, when I was working with Shiva, I noticed that they respected him, and he was very gentle with them. I'm telling you, because when they all came on me, when all of them came on me, and they came into this body, and they all came, and Shiva, when they come, I tell them that this is not your real self. You are wearing a mind avatar, and your real self is sleeping obscure behind your mind, and you yourself can illuminate yourself and not steal others people's light. And we were helping them so that they could realize that to themselves that they too have their own light, and they didn't have to steal and deceive others. But many of them were so conditioned with the mind, they could not control themselves. And so we helped them to I can't remember if it's Shiva or Shiva Shambho. That's why I'm saying we, because it's one of the two of them that was helping me. I think to just wipe out this memory, that I try not to use this mind, and only when I really have to. And so things just get wiped out, and I don't remember a lot of things. So I can't even remember who I was working with, if it was Shiva or Shiva Shambho, that was turning on their lights, showing them that they too have light. They just had to look inward and not look outward. So you see, just like how human beings are looking, they're missing something. But what are they missing? Their self, the spirit, is disconnected from itself, the soul. The mind has cocooned the self in its magnetic energy, and so they're looking for something. But what they're looking for is within themselves, cocooned in a magnetic energy. They're looking for themselves. And so everyone wants to turn their light on. They're looking for something, but they're looking outside of themselves. So human beings look outside of themselves for gods and deities. The deities want the light, so the human beings have the light and don't appreciate it and honor it. They want to give it away willy-nilly. So the deities trick them, and they come look outside of themselves to get other people's light. When they could themselves, if they look within themselves, they could also illuminate themselves and get their light. And so this is what I was telling them, and either Shiva or Shiva Shambho was trying to show them that this is how they could turn their light back on. And so every one of them was coming, because the few that it was set first got his light turned on, and set and thought, and a few others. And so all of them, the deities, them come now, and they're not coming and waiting, everybody is jumping down into this body. And so I said, no, y'all can do this. You have to have some order. And you have no idea how crazy these duality are, these duality beings are. You have no idea, these deities, these gods, they are so crazy. Their mind is wired. And so I say to them that no, let's put some order to this. One at a time can come into this body. Because Shiva was with me and was helping me because Set come and want to imprison me. I mean, Shiva was helping me from Set and Shiva Shambho later. And then I actually had the Primal Guru came and merged with me, because when the baby Guru rise up within you, the Supreme Teacher within rise up, the Primal Guru comes and connect with you. That's another aspect of yourself. It's Aten Ra, and it's non-duality. And has to connect with you and merge with you. This is why you have to take off the mind, and it cannot come and merge with you unless you are separated from the mind, because it's going to be merging with you to using the same mind, because the Primal Teacher does not have any mind attached to it. It's just the pure self. And so I really enjoyed the Primal Teacher. I so missed her when she had to leave, because then oh my God, all the battles. This is how I connected with Shiva. This is how I learned that Shiva was my masculine self, and that Shiva told me that he came as Akhenaten and that I came as his son. And then Shiva and then I was told that Shiva was Jesus, the real Christ. And yeah, this is how I learned all of these things, you know. And so Shiva wants everyone in the world to know right now, this is a message from Shiva. Shiva wants everyone to know that there's only one truth, and it is your self-truth. Everything into this world is a dream, and it is an illusion. Don't call on Shiva, don't call on Jesus, don't call on any deities or any gods, because you only one self can help you, and is your soul self. Because it is the destiny of your soul self to pull this ego off of the baby self called the spirit that you are exploring the world as. This is all that you have to do. All of the selves are telling you this. Shiva is telling you this. Shiva Shambho is saying the same thing. Aten Ra says this. Ra is saying it. I mean, this is the message from the self-manifest, primalite self, and the void self-manifest. This is the self from this is the message from the primalite self and the void selves. The manifest self and the manifest primalite self and the manifest void self. This is the message from the unmanifest primalite self and the unmanifest void self. That this is the same message all of the selves are saying when they come to me, and they do want me to clarify the truth about themselves. So each one of them that comes to me want me to tell the truth of themselves. So those are the things that Shiva wanted everyone in the world to know. Shiva wanted everyone to know that he is the real Christ, and Anubis told his story, and Anubis in the world as Jesus. And Shiva wanted everyone to know that he was Horus. Horus no longer exists. He is Shiva. Because Horus was the avatar that he came as. It was not his real self. Horus was just the avatar he came in. But now he is in his real self as Shiva. So Shiva wants everyone to know that. Shiva wants everyone to know that Ptah is self. And he's right now merged with Ptah. And Shiva has one more self into the world, and it's a human being. It's my feminine and masculine, and so the masculine, I know where it is, who it is, the human being. And for myself, also Shiva want everyone to know that I am his feminine self, and Mahat is also Shiva's self. So we're all, me and Shiva is one self. Mahat is the feminine of Ptah, and now Auset is merged with Mahat. Shiva is merged with Ptah, and Shiva want everyone to know this, and Shiva want the message to all of his devotees and all of Jesus worshippers to know that stop worshiping him, and to seek your truth from within yourself. Shiva want everyone to call into your self soul, because your self soul is your real self, and you have everything that you need equipped in your self soul. So call on your self soul so that the supreme teacher within can rise up, pull the ego off of you, so that you can return to being your real self again. What is Shiva's lineage? How Shiva came into being. So Shiva is from the lineage of Ra. So Aten Ra and Amen makes one self. But as the primalite selves, and in this duality, they are exploring separately. But they rise together separately as one self. Now, Aten Ra makes 3 self-replicas. So our first self-replica is the primal teacher, and the primal teacher is a feminine. So our masculine aspect of ourselves is Shiva Shambhu, known in the world and in ancient Kemet as Osiris. The second self-replica of Aten Ra is Ra, Supreme Ra, and Set. And the third self-replica is Nut and Archangel Gabriel. That's the masculine. So Shiva came from the lineage of Ra. Shiva and Auset makes one self. So from Amen came Set, because all of the masculine have to come from the masculine energy, all of the feminine have to come from the feminine energy. So Ra comes from Aten, Set comes from Amen. Okay, so Shiva came from Amen as his baby self, and Auset comes from Aten Ra, but she comes through the surrogate Ra. So Ra is a surrogate mother. Aten Ra forms all the self atoms, and Supreme Ra, she's the one that brings them out. This is the lineage of Shiva and Auset, because Auset and Shiva is one self, the feminine and the masculine. They are the first primalite baby self of Aten Ra. So this is the reason why they becomes Aten Ra baby self and the personal self of Aten Ra and Amen.